Early on in Gerry Anderson's career, he learnt the fundamentals of filmmaking in the cutting rooms before meeting a cameraman by the name of Arthur Provis, his future business partner. The two would form a partnership that would start Gerry on the path to his most famous successes, and this is the story of how they met.
But eventually I got a job in the Colonial Film Unit, which was a branch of the Ministry of Information. And I did, as a trainee, projection and camera crew and editing and so on. I worked with a very, very old-time movie director, George Pearson. He was a very nice man. And he one day said to me, whatever you're going to do in the film business, take my advice. Start in the cutting rooms, because this is where you learn a good performance from a bad performance, a good director from a bad director. And, you learn everything about filmmaking. And so I decided that I would work in the cutting room. And from there I heard that there was a vacancy going in Gainsborough Pictures, which was in Shepherd's Bush, recently occupied by the BBC. And so that's how I really came to be a member of the British film business. What happened was, when commercial television first started, there was a company in Maidenhead who decided that they were going to become a little production company. And they hired a producer by the name of Pete Collins, who had dreamed up a series called You've Never Seen This. The series was never seen, so it was a really good title. But we went all over Europe filming peculiar people. A man called Caro Cavic, who used to hypnotize alligators, a man who would climb up a tall building without any tools or anything to help him, a cyclist who went at 109 miles an hour, a man who would be driving his car, realize he left his cigarettes on the roof rack in his case, and would climb out of the car, climb on the roof and get his cigarettes and go back into the car. All of this at about 70 miles an hour while we were tracking alongside. And so these are the sort of crazy people we filmed. I mean, there were many more. But the camera operator was Arthur Provis.
An uncle of mine was worked for a company called National Screen Service, who made trailers. And he offered me a job just after, I think it was during the war, towards the middle of the war. And I was just doing an office job. And I took an interest in the rostrum cameras and all the things they were doing. And then I found myself another job at another company called National Interest Pictures, or Publicity Picture Productions maybe, in Diablo Street. And I learnt all about the rostrum camera. And we were doing training films for the army. And then I got called up and went into the Royal Navy, and entered as a photographer and was trained as a stills photographer in the Royal Navy. I went back into National Interest Pictures. I met Gerry Anderson after I was loaned to another company to do some work in Europe, circus acts, and really quite crazy things, some of them. Chap sitting on the chimney on a billiard cue, and really ridiculous circus acts like that. And Gerry and I became very friendly because we worked together very, very hard on this thing.
I enjoyed working with him, and I think he enjoyed working with me. And so when that ill-fated series came to an end, we said, why don't we start our own production company, which we did.
We made a little puppet, little Noddy, the puppet. I think it was Ricicles he advertised at the time. And we just learned a little bit about puppets.
Thanks for watching, and be sure to join us next week for the arrival of Roberta Lee and the adventures of Twizzle.